It's a shame that a lot of people just don't respect the Lover album because they didn't get it. But to be fair, I think there was a lot. First, we have the release date of the Me music video. Starting off, we have the snake with one eye that bursts into a kaleidoscope of butterflies, which is like the topic of perception versus truth, which that's a whole other discussion in itself. How, like, the self-titled Taylor Swift album is the only album that shows both of her eyes. Otherwise, on all the other albums, they're concealed or hidden in some way. Or you could just be an overall eye theory truther. Opens up with a Rear Window reference directed by Alfred Hitchcock, who liked to push the Haynes Code, which was like a way that old Hollywood censored films up until like the mid-60s. He also worked with a lot of queer writers and actors, and the most notable work I think is Rope. But yeah, Rear Window stars Grace Kelly as in the dress that Swift's wearing. Kelly would leave Hollywood at 25 to become the Princess of Monaco. Monaco's official language is French. Overall use of pastels in the aesthetic of this music video. Vincent Minnelli often used a pastel palette. We have Seven, Chicks, Mary Poppins. Some said that this referenced Moulin Rouge. We also have the Lover font, which resembles the same font of the Bertha Harris novel called Lover. She accepts a rad dog kitten. A year ago I mentioned that Dusty Springfield could have been the inspiration behind Taylor Swift's Reputation album, because Dusty Springfield's 13th album was also called Reputation, and they had very similar hair. But even more so, King of My Heart lyric, he moved to me like a Motown beat. The overall aesthetic and the feel of the album, and also if you take into the account the more recent leaks, it appears that TS7 Lover had a Motown-esque influence. Now back to Dusty Springfield. On her album, Dusty in Memphis, there's a song called All the King's Horses, which is a very Motown-esque song. Style of music popular in the 60s to early 80s. But there's a lyric, all the king's horses and all the king's men, you'll never get me back together again. Then from the song Archer, you have all the king's horses, all the king's men couldn't put me together again. And the other lyric, and all my heroes die alone. Dusty Springfield was a big fan of cats. She actually willed the remaining fortune of hers to her ragdoll cat named Nicholas. Then in the Anti-Hero music video, she allegedly leaves her fortune to cats as well, with a ragdoll, I believe. You have this rainbow walkway, this background being a Wizard of Oz reference, and also, hey kids, spelling is fun, might have been a reference to the LGBTQIA plus community. Also, this entire music video looks to be inside of a chrysalis, which many have pointed out. Yet again, I don't know what film specifically this could be referencing. Some have said it's Hairspray, but it also could be any, like, 1960s musical variety show. There was a bunch. Many of them only lasted, like, 1 or 2 seasons. Singing in the Rain, which came out a few years after the end of the Hollywood studio system, which was extremely, like, oppressive to a lot of its stars. Even if you watch Singing in the Rain itself, there's actually a reference to William Haynes, who had his career destroyed, not because he didn't successfully transition from silent films to talkies, but just because he was gay. But yeah, Singing in the Rain was one of the last, like, golden age Hollywood musicals post the actual studio system. So I always found it interesting how it was the last musical referenced in this music video.